fallout. The Joint European Torus is a nuclear fusion reactor of the future, run under the Euratom Nuclear Safety Treaty, from which the EU withdrawal bill removes Britain upon Brexit. Here, they're perfecting how to use robots to handle safely nuclear materials. The legal basis for that in Britain has for decades been Euratom. Withdrawal might have far-reaching consequences for the way the nuclear industry regulates, transports and researches its radioactive materials.
Leaving Euratom is absolutely an existential threat to us as an organisation. About 2/3 of my turnover comes from the European Commission. So, as I say, it is an existential issue. We have to find a resolution to this problem so that we can continue doing the world-class, cutting-edge science that we do here.
When nuclear fusion occurs, this is actually the hottest place in the solar system. It is politically charged too. Sky News has obtained a cross-party withdrawal bill amendment backed by Tory rebels demanding no Euratom exit until the government reports how to avoid a minor meltdown across the industry.
If we haven't had time to get all of those arrangements put in place bilaterally between the UK and other states and the UK and Euratom and with the UK and the International Atomic Energy Authority, if we haven't got all of that done by the time that we leave the European Union and we leave and cease to be a member of Euratom, then we're faced with significant disruption to absolutely everything. You know, the clock is ticking, and it has been since the day after the referendum, and we've made very little progress so far.
Indeed, Sky News understands some big UK nuclear firms are already planning to relocate nuclear material and components around Europe in anticipation of legal barriers to their movement into and out of the UK after Brexit. They've complained of no visibility of replacement arrangements by 2019 for Euratom and related treaties with the US, Japan and other third countries. The biggest nuclear generator, EDF, says power plant outages are possible.
If we fail to have nuclear cooperation agreements in place with key third countries, we wouldn't be able to share nuclear components, nuclear information with those countries. So, for example, as a practical example, if we had a component fail in one of our power stations and we needed to import a part from one of those countries, if we couldn't do it, then it might be the case that we'd end up with extended outages at our nuclear facilities.
Euratom is not actually a European Union treaty, but it is under the theoretical jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice.
For the Prime Minister, her Brexit red lines were all about sovereignty. She perhaps did not know that the red line on the European Court of Justice would flow through a high-tech facility like this, indeed through the whole future of the British nuclear industry, from generation of energy to medical isotopes.
These byproducts of the continental nuclear industry are critical for cancer treatment. The government denies any supply threat. Industry disagrees.
They degrade very quickly, in a matter of days. So currently, if there's disruption to transport, for example, over a weekend, it could mean that some appointments are cancelled.
The government says it's legally obliged to leave Euratom, but hasn't published the advice underpinning that. It is publishing a nuclear safeguards bill, but time now ticking to rework a series of international agreements or agree a transition. No deal in this industry could prove rather toxic indeed. Faisal Islam, Sky News.